Welcome to or welcome back to my channel, Alicia Influencer. I'm Alicia Victoria and this is Black Girl Chats, where I just chat and share insights for life upgraded. So in today's episode 9, I want to put you on game, as I like to say, to a particular type of therapy. But first, if you haven't checked out the latest episodes, especially episode 8, please do so. The information shared in episode 8 is about how to buy certain probiotics and what type of probiotics to buy, especially for Black women. And while probiotics can be beneficial to men, women, and beneficial regardless of, quote, race, these two types of probiotics were particularly helpful for Black women and/or targeting belly fat and fat around the waist in particular. So don't miss that episode. Now, for today, episode 9, therapy. Now, in today's current culture and age, there's a lot of discussion around mental health, hashtags like mental health matters, Black mental health matters, etc. And honestly, from my view, it can be a little oversaturated and or overused, the terminology, although the subject matter is serious and of course valid. So today I wanted to talk about a type of therapy that you may not be aware of. And while I'm not saying that it's particularly helpful to Black women, I'm saying that the type of therapy and then the link I'm going to drop in the description box below may be particularly helpful to Black women and people in general. So you may already have your own therapist, you may already get counseling, you may already get life coaching, you may already have your different ways that you support your mental health. What I would like to share is something that is free in a sense and that can be added to supporting yourself in self-care and mental health matters, and just something to boost your day or to have on hand when you may not be feeling at your best or your emotions have been stirred, provoked in ways that you do not appreciate and did not want. And so the type of therapy that I'm recommending is not clinical therapy. It's not virtual therapy or going into a person. It's not even group therapy, but it's the type of therapy similar to journaling where you can tailor it to yourself and you can experience in a way that would be beneficial to like maybe your situation or whatever you're looking for. And while there's many therapies out there, this one in particular is dubbed or termed music therapy. Now, when I say that, you may say, I've been doing music therapy for years, I just didn't call it that. And you may have. Music therapy can look like, from back in the day, putting your favorite CD mix on a playlist and burning the CD, to more modernly creating your own YouTube music mix or playlist, or having your own Pandora station set to the types of music, genres, and styles that you like. But here's a few tips if you're going to do musical therapy or music therapy in a way that acts more like a, quote, therapy session. And so I learned about this from the lovely Hadassah Queen O, or better known as Octavia. And Octavia is a praise and worship music artist, and she does praise music with an edge. And one day she dropped a video on YouTube inviting others to come into her personal music therapy session. And that's the one I'm going to drop in the description box, and the one I recommend to Black women in particular. And so she dropped her music therapy session and she shared some of what was going on. And in her music, because she is a praise and worship artist, she shared scripture. She shared largely, praise, worship, inspiration, music. And so I felt uplifted, inspired. It was soothing, motivating, encouraging, and the type of music that after you listen to it, you just feel better off. And what makes music therapy different from just listening to your favorite CD of music when you're having a challenging day or even a great and happy day, what makes it different than just creating your own playlist of different songs on YouTube is that with music therapy, it's almost like group therapy, but without actually being in a group. And while group therapy will have its benefits for certain people, and I'm not knocking that at all, music therapy in this way is more on the go and on demand. So you can listen to it, while you're driving, if you're on the metro subway, if it's day, if it's nighttime, and you don't need to look a certain way, dress a certain way, go out, or even interact with the therapist directly. And so I highly encourage it for those aspects, but I also want to emphasize that it's different because instead of a quote therapist, a licensed professional, or even a clinical therapist, you have a music therapist who, in a sense, is really a DJ. And so Octavia, Hadassah Queen O, in this case, was like a DJ leading and guiding the music therapy session. And so with her doing that, and as a praise and worship artist, I would actually say she was ministering throughout the music session, that she was providing like therapeutic types of tunes and melodies and insight and sharing wisdom and revelation, and even just the encouragement and solidarity of saying, people may go through hard times, or this is the hard time she's personally going through, where one could relate to that or glean from that and draw insights from. So that's one of the differences that make it different from just listening to a mix of songs that you like for a particular mood. And ever since I started learning about music therapy, it's the type of thing once started, I haven't looked back since. So if you want to think of it in a real old school terminology framework and way, to me, it's almost like reading the Psalms with David, who they call King David. David would minister through the Psalms. He would share about his own personal life situations. He would share about things he was going through as a king and even before being a king. And it would be set to music, and it would be in a poetic and lyrical and ministering psalmistry style. And as you read them, as the modern reader reads it, you can glean wisdom and insight and revelation, and they can be soothing. And people will often share about how Psalms and reading Psalms and hearing Psalms can be very soothing, relaxing, great for like getting them in a more balanced place, giving perspective, and even just observing and learning about through in the written word the hardships that King David and others went through in perspective to their own situations. And with the Psalms, it can help in getting your perspective back in the right place. So that's basically the long and short of it. Music therapy is a free way, a relaxing way to experience quote therapy. It's a form of self-care, I would more so say. And as I mentioned, the big difference is that you have your DJ as a therapist in a sense. It also kind of reminds me of like if you listen to the radio back in the day, late night, when they would have a certain radio host and they would do a certain show or style of music, or they're like, this is the chill down hour or the calm hour, then you might know what I'm referencing, like where the songs and melodies would be selected and put together in a way that would evoke a certain mood and atmosphere and feeling. And again, for me, because I'm not looking for anything that gets into the new age affirmation, mantras, meditations in the ways that the world, secular, or new age practitioners do. I want something that's more aligned with my values, that's not emptying out my mind, but filling myself, my being, with wonderful scriptures, uplifting music, praise, and worship, and directing that all back back to Yah, God, and giving Him the glory, even in my self-care, even in my forms of therapy. And so, what I will mention additionally, as this is a free form of therapy, I'm not discouraging or saying don't see actual therapists. In fact, I feel that therapy, counseling, and or life coaching can be very beneficial. But typically, within all three of those individuals are going to discuss or talk about to their clients slash patients about doing some form of self-care or some basis or base form of self-care that aligns with their values, interests, hobbies, needs. And music therapy can definitely be tailored to do so, similar to journaling. And it can be great to journal during music therapy. And so I highly encourage it. If you look in the description box, you'll find the link to Octavia's session. If you do listen to it, please comment, come back to this video, comment, and let others know about your experience. I believe you will enjoy every moment of it, but also make sure to support and subscribe to Octavia Hadassah Queen O. And so, ever since I saw her musical therapy session, I've listened to her other music, and that has been very uplifting as well. And so, if you're in a place where you don't really want to talk to anyone, you're processing your emotions, you're trying to calm down your emotions, or even if you're just rejoicing in good things, turning on a music therapy session can be a blessing to your day either way. Oh, and one more thing with music quote therapy sessions, again, not a substitute for actual therapy, counseling, life coaching, etc. But with the music therapy, it's also, I want to note, commentary throughout. So the DJ or music therapy host, in a sense, is sharing their commentary. They might be singing along on certain parts or inviting you to sing along with them, or doing some call and response, or even questions, food for thought for you to think about as the track plays. And some people will like that, some people will not. But what I found is that if you're just open to it, if you give it a chance, I would say just listen to the first 10 minutes at least, before deciding whether it's a yay or nay. I think you will really like it, and I do feel it is beneficial, especially as I mentioned, this is a focus on praise and worship, but not in the traditional sense. It's praise with an edge. That's all for now. If this chat's helped add value to your day, then hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Stay posted, stay blessed.